Good evening. My name is Semone Ray, and the topic of my presentation is Our Children, the Future. Is it in jeopardy? I will be presenting on stage 4, which is childhood, of the Erikson's life cycle phases. I chose this stage because this stage is very important in a child's life when they are growing, developing, and also learning new things, especially in the home and school environment. One evening I was talking with two of my friends who are teachers. They told me some of their experiences in the classroom, such as children not knowing how to read in 2nd grade, children having a short attention span, and also children not eating well-balanced meals, which is very important in a child's life. When I heard that, it made me think about the environment that a child may be in at the home and also at school, and the issues that they may be facing, and also the difficult situations as well. Also, I can relate to this stage because I can remember times that I have been either industrious or inferior in terms of the environment I was in at home and also at school. Now I will be explaining stage 4, which is Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. Stage 4, childhood. The age range in this stage is between the ages of 6 to 12, or some say 5 to 11. Around this time, children are about to attend school for the first time. The virtue during this stage is competence. During this time in their life, school and other activities are very important to them. The questions they ask themselves unconsciously, without thinking, are, am I capable? And how can I be good? The basic conflict or crisis in this stage is industry versus inferiority. This distinguishes between being capable and getting positive reinforcement, while on the other hand, not being capable and getting negative reinforcement. Children need to cope with new social and academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failures result in feelings of inferiority. This is coming from Erikson's Psychosocial Stages Summary Chart. Children need to be productive and have successful experiences. Children are busy playing and learning, giving them opportunities to master various tasks. This is coming from Rogers, Human Behavior in the Social Environment, 2013. And also, a quote from Sherry, 2015, states that this stage is also vital in the development of self-confidence because children need to make sure that they get positive reinforcement from parents, teachers, and friends so they can have self-confidence in doing their schoolwork and in any other project or assignment that they have to do. Now I'll be discussing the 3 areas that may affect children during this stage. And there may be other areas that may affect children during this stage, but I chose these 3. And the 3 that I chose are poverty, because poverty can play a very, very important role in a child's life in terms of how it affects them in school and also at home. Unsupportive parents, which is also an area that may affect children during this stage, because if there are unsupportive parents in the home, children may have low self-esteem. And also single-parent household, which can really affect children at home and also at school. And I'll be discussing each area in depth. The first stage is poverty, which is the first area that I would like to discuss. Before we discuss poverty, I would like to show a video that shows poverty within the school system.
1 of every 5 Michigan children is living in poverty. That according to a report out today. The rate is rising around the state, and it's rising faster than the state average in Kent, Muskegon, and Ottawa counties. 24-hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia spent some time in a suburban school district today and has more on how the issue is popping up there. Tony?
Brian and Sue, the principal of an Eastern Ottawa County elementary school, says the issue is even coming up with kids' homework.
Families that don't have as much time to help their kids with their homework at night because they're worried about making their bills, or they're working a second job in the evening. So we see a decrease in kids getting their homework done, so we have to provide more supports for them to do that.
And Renee Garcia, principal at Jennison's Bursley Elementary, says roughly 40% of her students meet poverty standards for a free or reduced lunch. She says more students aren't able to pay for field trips. She says families stressing about paying for the basics are leading to behavioral problems at school. And Garcia says more children are coming to school sick.
And I think that's because our parents need to work. They need to be at their job, they need to earn that paycheck, and they need a safe place for their kids.
Today's numbers from the Kids Count report show what's happening at Bursley Elementary is hardly unique in Ottawa County. Child poverty is defined as earning $21,800 or less for a family of 4. And the rate of child poverty in Ottawa County has grown 20% between 2005 and 2008.
It doesn't surprise me because it's something that we have been dealing with day in and day out for, the last 8 years.
It's grown 12% in both Kent and Muskegon counties. All 3 of those rates are faster than the state average. Kalamazoo County's child poverty rate grew by 2%. That's slower than the state average. This latest poverty data comes from 2008. With the job losses we've seen since then, it's certainly possible, if not probable, that rates have gotten worse. Back in Jennison, the principal says despite some students facing challenges, they're still excelling on state standardized tests. This report also shows abuse and neglect cases are on the rise, but infant mortality rates are largely declining, especially in Muskegon County. Sue?
Tony, thank you.
Wow, could you imagine that? 40%. And imagine now it might be higher, just like the guy said. Sometimes we are not able to see how poverty affects a child, and sometimes you see how it's affecting them. Here's another video that deals with poverty and education.
Each day in the United States, over 12.9 million students attend school that are in poverty. These students often have lower achievement rates than those that are not in poverty. As future teachers, we need to be aware that these students will be in our classrooms, and it is our responsibility to make sure that they get the help they need in order to succeed.
One of the consequences of the recession that you don't hear much about is the record number of children descending into poverty. The government considers a family of 4 to be impoverished if they take in less than $22,000 a year. Based on that standard and government projections of unemployment, it is estimated the poverty rate for kids in this country will soon hit 25%. Those children would be the largest American generation to be raised in hard times since the Great Depression. had the lights turned off at your house? How do you study when you don't have the lights on at home?
We have emergency flashlights, and I usually have to use them. I'll just light candles and sit around in a circle of candles.
Candles? Yes, ma'am.
I use candles because my mommy brings some.
I'll go out to the car and turn on the overhead and read out there and study.
What is your relationship to the students at the school?
I am a reading recovery teacher.
What are some of the struggles that the students in your school face on a daily basis?
Many of our students have little supervision at home due to parents working. Therefore, they may have difficulty getting homework done. They may not eat well or possibly not get enough sleep. Many of our students also have personal issues to deal with at home, so school may not be seen as a priority.
Do the students at your school that are in poverty have a lower achievement rate than those who are not in poverty?
Yes, if there is no one there to intervene.
What are some ways to help the children that are low income?
Well, one of the things that we can do is we have staff that will help students get homework done if that's one of the issues they struggle with. Our school also works with local churches to provide a mentor program for students at risk. We work to provide a safe and happy environment at our school. We provide breakfast for those students who may not have a good breakfast at home or any breakfast. We also provide opportunity to build relationships between school, family, and the community.
Okay. According to Brooks, Gunn, and Duncan, the effects of poverty on children, name of the article, it states that in recent years, about 1 in 5 American children, some 12 to 14 million, have lived in families in which cash income failed to exceed official poverty thresholds. Another 1/5 live in families whose incomes were no more than twice the poverty threshold. For a small minority of children, 4.8% of all children, and 15% of children who ever became poor, childhood poverty lasted 10 years or more. We will continue in the other video.